Let's keep it going. Let's keep the warmth, keep the heat up, and there is warmth in here. Matt Collinge!
G'day. I really love stand-up because I've got a lot of experience being stood up, so it's just seemed a natural progression. And you might not know this, but Matthew is actually a name from the Bible. Now, not many uses for the Bible, but there's good names in there. And Matthew was a tax collector. And if there's one thing we know for certainty in life, there's death, and then there's those bastard single T Matthews. All right, you just picture you're in a plane, 300-ton plane, doing 900 kilometres an hour, heading straight to the ocean and thinking, how's this life jacket going to work out? I mean, have I got a whistle here? How am I going to save myself? How many times has a plane landed on water and everybody just waded away? And, you know, when I was young, my mum spent a lot of time fixing socks. She would sew them back together. She would pull them, fix them, darn them. And I'm thinking, maybe this is just a sign that the socks need to be replaced. I mean, what if you started doing that with underwear? It would come out really weird. And I love the concept of addiction. So many people have their addiction, whether it's drugs, whether it's caffeine, whether it's sex. I always say, if you're worried about an addiction, just don't stop. And then you're fine. You'll never know. And I actually have a bit of a lead foot when I'm driving. And I always love it when you get that $300 speeding fine. And there's that little place in the envelope where you can stick your finger and reuse the envelope. It's like, that's great. I owe you $300 and you've saved me 10 cents. You know, that's terrific. And is it wrong when you're a grown man to check the contents of your hanky when you're trying to assess just how long you've got to go on this cold? Because I'm due for another 2 days, I reckon, the way I'm going. And many of you will remember the Las Vegas massacre that happened last year. It was about, I think, September. 58 people killed and 800 injured. And they always say this is the worst massacre in recent US history. And I'm just thinking, how many Indians did they kill in the 19th century to top that? That's unbelievable. Now, I used to be a teacher. I taught humanities and maths, or at least I was supposed to, but I very rarely got those subjects. But the one subject I did get was home economics. And I said to the students, look, this is the most important class you will do. Because if you want to get laid, you've got to be able to cook. And suddenly I had straight A pluses and the best attendance in the school. So it was magic. Now, one of my favourite signs, and I'll never get enough of it, is the wrong way, go back sign on a freeway. Now, if a car is travelling against traffic doing 110 kilometres per hour, probably weaving in and out, trying to avoid a head-on collision, I don't know if a sign's going to really bring attention to the problem. You know, they're probably going to ignore that, as they have pretty much everything else, and they'll end up on the 6 o'clock news without much trouble at all. Now, I actually chose to celebrate New Year's last year in Sydney. Now, they spent $7 million on the fireworks, and I have to say they were fantastic because I watched them through a series of iPhones all positioned in front of me. And I just thought, this is so wrong. I'm 6'5", and you're using selfie sticks to block my view. There's no justice whatsoever. And have you ever heard people say why life is so short? I was wondering, what's the yardstick here? I mean, are we comparing ourselves to vampires or turtles? Or are we comparing ourselves to like Ho Chi Minh, who's on ice? And he's doing a lot better than most people on ice, I have to say. I love it when I get a business card and it has a fax number. And I'm just thinking, when was the last time somebody used this fax number? You know, why don't you just go a step further and put some Morse code on the bottom, just in case somebody, you know, needs that channel to communicate. Oh, and a lot of people, there's a certain point in your life when you take pride in your age. So, you know, you hit 80 and it's like, you know, I'm doing pretty well, I'm 80 years old, I'm getting about. And then if you hit 100, you know, you might get a telegram from the Queen. And I'm thinking, I'll have that sort of pride at about 50, you know. I'll be like pretty pleased if I can pull that off. And manic depressive, I actually suffer bipolar. But when I was originally diagnosed, it was called manic depression. And I like that because that's what you go through, manic and depressive. And I thought, maybe more diseases should be named this way, like snotty nose, or itchy balls, or exploding ass, you know. And that way people know straight away what's going on. And my favourite is, and I think all guys in the room will know this, that when you go to bed and you're not getting anything, you wear a t-shirt. It's always a dorky t-shirt you don't want to wear in public, and it's almost your way of saying, tonight there's no action. I've got the t-shirt on, that's it, I'm going to sleep. So, Japan. In Japan, I thought you'd like to know, they sell more adult diapers than they do baby diapers. Which is pretty good, because if you get the wrong one, it can be pretty snug, I tell you. So that can be a challenge. Anyway, thank you so much.
Matt Collinge.